It was good, y'all. Fuzion here, back to another video. Today we're going to be reacting to Get Up. So the Kevin Durant trade happened earlier. The Suns, they got Kevin Durant and TJ Warren. And the Nets got Malik Bridges, Cam Johnson, Jay Crowder, 4 unprotected first-round picks, and a 2028 pick swap. I think that the trade was interesting. I think that the Nets were just trying to get. I think that the Nets were trying to start fresh. It seems like once they realized that Kyrie was out, they knew that Kevin Durant was going to walk this summer, so they might as well as just clean house. Now, they got a couple pieces here that they could move, but I think that the Nets are officially trash with what their roster is. Ben Simmons shouldn't be one of your best players. So yeah, so let's go ahead and get started and see what they got to say.
About what has happened to the Brooklyn Nets in the last 5 days.
That they're another disaster, that they're irrelevant, and that the New York Knicks will be ruling New York for the foreseeable future by default. The fact of the matter is that this is an experiment that went horribly bad. Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving, ultimately James Harden, never worked out. Didn't even play 75 games together, 3.5 years together. They only won 1 playoff series. And this experiment that took place in Brooklyn will forever stain KD because he departed from Steph Curry to join Kyrie Irving. It will stain Kyrie Irving for many, many years to come, particularly in his wallet. He's going to get paid because he's too spectacular not to get paid. But the kind of money that he deserves and warranted, the long-term security that he was looking for, I've got to see somebody invest in him long-term to believe it because there's just so much stuff that is going on. Kevin Durant's going to be fine. He'll probably end up being a champion for all we know because the Phoenix Suns definitely are the favorites in the Western Conference now. The fact that you have...
Just real quick, I agree with almost all of that. This will stain Kevin Durant's and Kyrie's legacy. Kyrie has always, has already been seen as someone who will flake. He flaked twice already, so I'm not surprised with this. I'm wondering how long Kevin Durant will stay with the Suns as well as Kyrie with the Mavs. I think that's going to be interesting. But Brooklyn failed twice. So they failed with the Paul Pierce, Kevin Garnett combo, trying to bring back that Celtics team. That didn't work. And then now this time with Kevin Durant, Kyrie, and James Harden, that didn't work. I think that Brooklyn needs to they were 4th in the East also. I think that they just need to take the rest of this year, try to make some moves, use what they have, and try to just try to rebuild. I mean, that's all that you can say. Wait till next year. Try to make hella moves over the next 2 years, because I don't see them really trying to fix this in one summer. But yeah, the Nets aren't it.
Devin Booker with CP3, the point guard himself. Remember, Kevin Durant was in Oklahoma City with Russell Westbrook, not the quintessential point guard. He was in Golden State with Steph Curry, not the quintessential point guard. He was in Brooklyn with Kyrie Irving, not the quintessential point guard. He's with a point guard now in CP3. And so when you look at Phoenix right now with Ayton, with CP3, with Devin Booker and Kevin Durant, Denver is not a team to summarily dismiss, but there is no question that the Phoenix Suns should be the favorites in the Western Conference. So Kevin Durant will be competing for championships, but it won't come without noise, and it won't come without that stench and that stain that he left behind in Brooklyn. Player empowerment and things of that nature that people have alluded to. You're going to see teams highly apprehensive and incredibly reticent to lean on player involvement when it comes to some of these things after the stuff Kyrie Irving essentially initiated in Brooklyn.
and I'm being told that we do have Jalen. Okay, so we're putting together, we miss our teammate, Michael Wilbon, who we'll see this weekend, but we got a little makeshift version of NBA Countdown here. Jalen is with us up from Los Angeles. Thank you guys for getting up and racing in here, because all this broke while we were asleep last night. I mean, Jalen, you just heard Stephen A., and we've been getting perspective all morning long. A week ago, we were talking about the Nets as a championship contender.
And that's the thing. I feel like it came out of nowhere. You could tell that there was some sort of build-up with the Nets having issues. Just with Kyrie, sort of with Kevin Durant earlier in the year. I'm not sure how this Ben Simmons thing will work. It seems like Ben Simmons is just doing cardio out there. I don't know, man. I think that this Nets team had the talent, but just so many egos, so many people cooking in the kitchen at once, off-court stuff, the pandemic. I just don't think that was going to work. And I don't know what happened with these Nets. Just total implode.
5 days later, how do we process what has happened there, Jalen, in the last 5 days?
Well, a couple of things I think that people underestimate in team sports. One of them is leadership. And there was a lack thereof that with the Brooklyn Nets when their initial big three with KD, Kyrie, and James Harden was formed. Kyrie ultimately left LeBron and left the Boston Celtics because he wanted to prove that he can win without them. KD, as Stephen A. mentioned, left the Golden State Warriors to go to the Nets so he can prove that he can win without joining a super team. And so, who's going to be the leader? James Harden forces his way out of Houston to come join them, and then he's looking at KD like, wait a minute, you got to get vaccinated. It's maybe costing us a season, and it's costing me money because I'm about to be a free agent. I want out of here. The Nets, to me, should have allowed those guys to nurture that situation at least 1 year for the playoffs. They didn't. So you trade James Harden for Ben Simmons. So now all of a sudden, like I've been saying, Ben Simmons ain't going to be a part of a championship big three with the Nets. He's just not an all-star level player anymore. So KD looks around. Kyrie's unhappy. KD asked for a trade this offseason. They go to him and say, you're too valuable. We're not going to move you. So then they start the season. KD gets hurt. They play well. Kyrie ups his value and says he wants to get traded. Now they both look around and say, well, can we win a championship in Brooklyn? Can we win one with Ben Simmons? And then they both, in theory, asked to be out. Now, let me address the Nets for a second. Each situation is different. Kyrie Irving was going to be a...
So, I think that the problem was how it was created in the first place. Durant left one of the best teams ever. Came to play with Kyrie. I don't know if just those two would have worked out. I think they complement each other well. But adding James Harden, who just forced himself out of Houston to this team, again, came in the wrong way, already causing issues. And then James Harden left a horrible way, causing some more chemistry issues with Durant and Kawhi. Durant and Kyrie. Those two have to play with Ben Simmons, and then for some reason Ben Simmons doesn't know how to play basketball anymore. That causes more issues, eventually causing them to drift apart, and then they both leave. That's what happens. I think that all this started because of how that they were assembled and how Harden joined. I think those three are two alpha dog-esque players, so it would have been hard for them all to work, honestly. So yeah, I don't know. Going forward, I think that this is a lesson to the quote-unquote big three format, is that not every single big three is going to work. You see that also with with the Lakers. You see certain big threes just aren't going to work.
Free agent, and like Stephen A. said, he may or may not be getting a long-term deal. But if I'm the Mavs, I'm thinking about doing a deal with him, an incentive-laden deal. I was actually at their game last night. But for KD, he was already under contract for a few more years.
Yeah.
Newsflash, I'm not just gonna trade KD with a few more years left on his deal. I know they got some nice players. I know they got a lot of draft capital back. But he's such a mercurial talent, and you win with superstars in this league. They didn't get an all-star for KD or Kyrie.
Nothing.
So therefore, big ups to the Phoenix Suns, who are now the favorites in the Western Conference.
Thank you for watching ESPN.
And yeah, that's pretty much everything, guys. Tell me what you guys think. I think that the Suns have gotten exponentially better. I think Dallas got a whole lot better. I think that the Lakers got better. But the rest of them, I don't know. I just think Brooklyn came out worse. But I also think that they had better pieces like to move in these next 2 years. I think that the Jazz, they've been already on the rebuild, and I wouldn't be surprised if Jordan Clarkson leaves next. But I could also see that they are trying to build this team around Lauri Markkanen as well. So who knows? Adding on Toscano Anderson and Damian Jones, which I think are just trade pieces anyway. Who else? The Wolves, they got a veteran point guard that can teach and slow down Anthony Edwards, as well as get good shots for him and Anthony Towns, as well as Rudy Gobert. So I think that was a great pickup. And yeah, that's pretty much everything, guys. Tell me what you guys think about the trades. It's been a very interesting trade deadline. We still got the rest of the day, but yeah, I'll see you guys later. Peace.